Welcome to our YouTube channel on dating tips. In this video, we're going to discuss how to avoid marriages where two people live separate lives under the same roof instead of merging together as one. In other words, how do we build a durable marriage? First, we must detach ourselves from what is portrayed in mass media. Here, love is portrayed as a glorification of baser instincts centered on physical and emotional gratification without thought for the other party's needs, let alone on how to best meet them. The interactions between couples portrayed in mass media is shallow at best and highly misleading at worst. Instead of solving problems, they create them as couples come with totally different expectations, which are generally self-centered, with each party potentially seeing the other as a threat if their respective needs are not met. What then are the basic ingredients for a successful marriage? Here is a brief outline, which, though not exhaustive, is designed to contrast popular misconceptions with the essential requirements for a relationship. 1. Giving, not taking. On the surface, this seems counterintuitive. Why does one enter into a marriage where one's needs are not met? However, the meeting of one's needs is not synonymous with denial of someone else's. This misconception is generated by Western culture, which emphasizes competition. Not surprisingly, couples enter a marriage with a win-lose attitude instead of win-win. Cooperation and not domination is an essential basis of any union to take place. On this basis, one has to unlearn the competitive mentality generated by society. One has to be a giver and not a taker to merge with someone else and live a richer life. For more information on this, see our video on givers versus takers. 2. The longest route is the shortest. Even if one aspires to meet the needs of their partner, Western society emphasizes instant results. Consequently, couples enter a marriage with the belief that they can read each other's minds. Needless to say, this is not only unrealistic, but is bound to exacerbate things by the misunderstanding that it will inevitably generate. Couples must spend many years together, sharing experiences, working towards common goals, undergoing sacrifices for each other, and generally building a life together. This does not mean that couples cannot get some cursory familiarity with each other at the beginning of the marriage. Rather, such familiarity should provide the basis of further development. 3. Being vulnerable. Western society places extraordinary emphasis on superheroes with corresponding violence, domination, and supernatural powers. This generates mass appeal for people who often live mundane lives. However, for meaningful relationships to take place, vulnerability is the prerequisite for intimacy. This does not mean that one places oneself in a weak position that will encourage abuse. Rather, vulnerability has to be tempered with an anticipated response. If the response is repeatedly negative, then clearly intimacy and by extension a relationship cannot develop. Vulnerability is reciprocal in that one must not exploit private and confidential information divulged by one's partner. Without vulnerability, there is no room for growth, as there is no avenue to meet the respective needs of both partners. 4. Relativity and anger control. No matter how close a couple can get, they will never share the same perception of reality. It is therefore inevitable that there will be disagreements and the potential anger that can come out of it. A detailed overview of anger management is outside the scope of this video, and more information can be found on our website. However, the basic requisite of any anger management is relativity, which involves the realization that reality is ambiguous and that one spouse may have a perception of it that is equally valid irrespective of how different it may be. This in turn is a prerequisite for gratitude, which is a vital component of bonding. The question one should ask oneself before reacting to a perceived misdemeanor from their spouse is whether a half glass of water is half empty or half full. Seeing the glass as half full is more likely to encourage one's spouse to fill it to the top rather than emptying it completely. This is notwithstanding that one is often guilty of the very same faults they see in others. It is a question of prioritizing what ultimately is really important before taking issue with one's partner. I trust that you enjoyed this video. For more videos in this series, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And thanks for watching.